I like our team. I mean, I feel like we did a lot of things right last year. I think there's some areas that we can do better. I think from an offensive standpoint, we weren't consistent. We'd like to see some of that change, but I think we have the talent to do that. Now, that's not to say we're not going to do something between now and opening day. I'm clearly looking at the trade market, free agent market, and if there's some things that we can add to this club that we think will make us better, we want to pursue that.
Really is not certain what the starting outfield is going to look like. I mean, it's wide open, isn't it?
It is, and I think for people that sit in my seat, that's exciting, and we want to see what we have. I think sometimes from the fan base, that can be a little frustrating, and why not just go out and sign somebody that's the sure thing. But we feel we have a lot of talent in that outfield, and we want to let it play out.
Dylan Carlson, your minor league player of the year, where does he rank in terms of prospects, in terms of completeness that you've had since you've been here?
And I hate to do this, but the Albert Pujols type, or the Oscar Taveras type. From an offensive standpoint, he's done a lot at a very young age. And so I don't want to put too much pressure on him because lots of things have to happen. But he's also one of those players that's a very complete player, good defensive player, physically maturing right now. And so I think there's a lot to be excited about him. And I would imagine at some point in 2020, we see him.
What makes you think that Matt Carpenter's season was an aberration and not simply a decline of a player in his mid-30s?
I think we've identified some things that we feel he can work on this offseason from a strength and conditioning standpoint. And then there's also some things from the actual physical of how he approaches his swing at the plate.
Is Carlos Martinez a starter heading into spring training, or do you think he comes out of the bullpen?
Well, I think as of right now, he's a starter. But there's a lot of hurdles that have to be jumped over before we know that as factual, but he's approaching this offseason to come to camp as a starter.
Who's your closer as we head into spring training? Because Jordan Hicks won't be ready till midseason.
Right, don't know. Obviously, there's still a lot of time, could add an arm between now and spring training, but you look at somebody like a Helsley who might step up and take that. You look at sort of the way we've used the closer role over the last decade, a lot of times we've given it to young people and given them an opportunity to do it. I think back to someone like even a Jason Mott to Trevor Rosenthal.
You have some interesting contract situations coming up. Yadier Molina at the end of this year. What's your take? What can you tell the public?
I mean, obviously, we hope he never wears another uniform, and at some point, Yadi and his representatives will have to sit down and talk, and I would imagine sometime this spring that will happen. When you say no way, or I say no way, we only control so much, but our hope would be he never wears anything other than the birds in the bat.